right now.
Are we on?
Welcome to the Megan World Show.
I just splashed water everywhere. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. There we are, Rythmia's live. Boom shakalaka. Your finger's in front of the camera. Oh, now it's not. Okay, guys, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day this sunny Sunday. We are 5 minutes late. My apologies. Who's watching? Jane is watching. Let's see who else is hopping on here. Audio is good. Video is good. Everything is good. Okay, it is Mother's Day for all of you North American folk. It is not Mother's Day in Australia. I assume that it's not Mother's Day in the UK. It's definitely not Mother's Day here in Costa Rica.
But it's a Mother Day for the first mother.
Woo! For my first unofficial Mother's Day. So Mother's Day in Canada and the US is today. It is here in Costa Rica. We celebrate Dia de Madre August 15th.
August 15th.
Which is going to be shortly after this little nugget enters the world. So I'm excited we get to celebrate Mother's Day twice a year. Now that I'm a mother, twice a year. Week 29. Whew, shit's getting real, kids. It's like, I don't know what happened this week, but something switched and I got real pregnant real fast. I have another friend here who's pregnant in Costa Rica, and I think our due date is with either the same day or we're due within like 2 or 3 days of each other. And from what I hear, I was just talking with someone that was just saw her. She's barely even showing. So I don't understand. Like, Mother Nature, how she decides. I mean, whatever. My baby's big and healthy and strong and kicking and dancing, and very excited about that. Claudia Caruso says, Happy Mother's Day, Mama. And she says, hello, Kenneth. Claudia says, and Happy Mother's Day to Mother Ayahuasca. Indeed. We have a great week ahead here at Rythmia. I mean, every week is a beautiful day at Rythmia, but beautiful week at Rythmia. But we have Taita Juanito Chindon here from Colombia and his amazing team. He comes about 4 times a year and helps with the retreat program here at Rythmia. So our guests that are here will be drinking the Colombian brew with him for 2 nights. We'll be doing part of the regular Rythmia program of ayahuasca ceremonies Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday will be the Colombian tradition led by our amazing shamanic team from Colombia. So it's going to be exciting. So that means we have a full house and we have a lot of returning guests here this week. Tons of people that have been here in the past. You know, a lot of people come back, and a lot of people that do come back, if they have an experience when they're here that is really strong with the Colombian medicine, they quite often rebook to come back to drink with Taita, who is like our medicine, Colombian medicine guru. He knows. I mean, I hate the term guru, but he's the shit. It's pretty hot out. What is it, like 40 degrees, pretty much?
Almost.
It's quite hot here right now. We've had some rain finally here in Costa Rica, which is lovely. Even up here in Guanacaste, which is the driest part, we've had rain the last week. Just helped cool things off, green things up. Brought some of the bugs back, which is nice, like the beautiful cicadas at night and lots of different interesting moths and stuff, which is lovely to see. Heather's saying peace. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna get into something here. The topic today is kind of funny. A friend of mine is here as a guest this week, and she's a chef. She's like, what are you gonna do today? I'm like, I'm gonna talk about food graders. She's like, wow. I'm like, it's really heavy stuff. But actually, I had a friend over for dinner recently, and I can't remember, I grated something using a food grater, and she was in awe that you could, like, she never thought to grate it instead of chopping it. So that's why I had this inspiration for this Facebook Live today. We're just going to talk about a few different ways to use food graters and different types of food graters and how they can simplify preparation, food prep in the kitchen. Is anything, as you know, my motto is anything that you can do lazier in the kitchen, the better. All right, hello from Finland. Oh yes, please tell me where you guys are watching from. I've got Leslie watching. Mirka's watching from Finland. I'd love to know where everyone's tuning in from. And clearly, I would like to know what you guys want to see in future videos, because I'm and talking about food graters today, for crying out loud. Clearly, I'm getting a little bit desperate for ideas. So, come on over. So we're talking about food graters, and we call them ralladors. Ralladors? Ralladors. And you know, this is like the traditional food grater that we all have at home, right? The box grater, as is typically known. This is a very common grater that we use, and we would grate that and get things like grated carrots, just like this, right? So we use this for doing a million different things, like we grate cheese, mostly, right? But I'm going to show you different ways that we can use it. There's different types of graters in the house. This is the one I have at home right now, which is, you know, a little bit more space effective for storage. You can go right into your silverware drawer, so that's a nice one. I also have my microplane or rasp, but this is a really fine grater. What up? Microplane, rasp, tiny grater, pequeño rallador. And then we have this amazing attachment. So this here disc is an attachment that goes into your food processor. And most food processors all come with this attachment, but no one uses it. It's funny how many times I go to people's houses and they have food processors and I'm in their kitchen and I'm like, where's the grater attachment? They're like, the what now? And they've thrown this out, or it's gotten buried at the bottom of a drawer or something. This is an amazing, amazing tool that you use inside your food processor, which takes all of the elbow grease out of the grating experience. So I'm gonna show you guys that right now, just in case you don't know, in case you have a food processor at home. So typically we're always using this S blade, right? Which apparently has chocolate in it. We didn't wash that very well. So this is the S blade that we typically use for most processing tools. So that your machine always comes with that. Tiffany Lynn is saying hello, Meg Rudy. I love you, sister. I love you too, Tiffany. Leslie is watching from Walla Walla, Washington, USA. We've got Marike from Holland. Excuse me. Angel saying hello, Mama. Happy day to celebrate the divine feminine from Vancouver, Canada. So fun, so fun. Okay, sorry, distracted. So again, back to the blade here. So the blade here, this is the grate. As you can see, it's the exact same type of blade as on the box grater. So this is your grating blade. And then you also have, on the other side here, this blade, which is kind of like a microplane blade. So this is a slicer. So depending what blade you want to use, you make the blade on the top here. So we've got our grating blade here. Dun, 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 dun. So we put this just like so. Can you show that? So here's our blade. This is what's going to cut right there. If I wanted to use the slicing blade, I would do that slicing blade on top. But we're going to grate here today. So that just sits on here. Sometimes there's a separate little attachment that you need to use inside the base here to hold it. This food processor, it's all the same one. So make sure when you get anytime you get an appliance like this that has multiple parts, I like to assign like a Tupperware container to all the parts, including the manual, so that if you ever have a question, or you know, you're not going to use this grating blade all the time, so making sure that it has a home somewhere, you're not going to lose it, is super important. And then we put the top on, lock it in. I'm going to take this out because we're going to use our feed chute, and I'm just going to show you guys how this works with the carrot. All right, so we turn this on. As you can see, the metal blade up here starts to spin. Okay, so think back. When's the last time you hand grated carrots and cabbage and potatoes for your various different things? Why hand grate it on the box if you have a food processor? Look at that. And look how, like, I just grated a half a cup of carrot with zero effort in zero time. Use your grating attachment, my friends. Happy birthday to you. It's one of our kitchen staffs. Let's go over there, come on. Feliz cumpleaños! Live in Facebook! Oh, look how good that cake is!
Delicioso!
Increíble! Muchísimas gracias! right, sorry guys, little commercial there.
It's a little commercial.
That is our amazing staff member, Rebecca. It's her birthday today, so our staff made her an amazing birthday cake. Now I'm out of breath. But we are, and so it's such a family here, so super important that we celebrate all that kind of stuff. Oh, look at how cute they are. I'm watching you on delay here. Oh, so cute, so cute. Okay, who else is watching here? I might as well check in here. Sven is watching and saying hello. Asen is saying hello. Hey, Asen. DJ Rob. Happy Mama's Day, Meggers. Dan Ripley is watching. Dr. Dan. Hola, hola Meg. Happy Mother's Day. Watching from beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina. Tiffany Lynn says, oh my God, you just changed my food prep life. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Tiffany, this just made this Facebook Live worth my time. Because I was like, I don't know if this is going to be helpful. But then I was talking to my friend who's the chef that's here, and she's like, well, a lot of these things that we use graters for as chefs, at-home cooks don't typically utilize and recognize. So I'm glad that this is actually helpful for you. Bridie is watching. I'm talking about you. I keep talking about you. So she's watching from the pool. That's my friend Bridie. She's here. She's an extraordinary chef. And she said that this would be a decent idea. So here we go. Via's saying happy Mother's Day. I know it's a special one for you. Yes, it is super special. Lori says you're amazing. Happy Mother's Day from Delaware, USA. Every time I hear Delaware, USA, I think of Wayne's World. You know, when Garth is like, we're gonna go to Delaware. You know that scene? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Bridie, I bet you Bridie knows what I'm talking about. I think she's a Wayne's World fan. Heather Huntsman says, it is super helpful, saves time for healthy veggies. Amen, yes. Dean says, good morning, my friend. Where are you watching from, Dina? She's saying good morning. Australia? It's morning in Australia, right? Karen says, happy Mother's Day from California last week. Yes, yeah, you were here last week, right? Love you, your delicious food and beautiful energy. Christine says, Philly in the house. Philly in the hizzle. Okay. Okay, so we're doing well. So this is great. This grater attachment is really good for not only just grating things like carrot, potato for hash browns. If you're making your homemade hash browns, instead of sitting here schlepping away, just, you know, make sure you slice your potato small enough so that it will feed through this chute. So this one would fit. And then what the good thing about this, here, I'll show you this. Put this back together. If you're gonna feed something like a washed potato through, that's when this comes in handy. So you turn it on. So you use this to help feed the vegetable down, or else it will just sit there and spin because it's not long enough to keep pressing down with your hand. And then look at that. This is all that's left, this tiny little skin. And then we have all of this perfect. And then I would just squeeze this out with a paper towel if you're gonna make hash browns so that it's nice and dry. And then you have your beautiful, super thin, and it's thinner shreds even than if you were to use a box grater. So that's a great tool and a great tip. You could use that for grating cheese. You have a lot of cheddar or mozzarella cheese that you want to grate for making pizza. Use that same thing. Just make sure you don't let your cheese come to room temperature before you do it. The colder, the better. Speaking of, we're going to go on another little road trip, Kenneth, because I have 2 ingredients in the freezer, but we have it in the ice freezer. So come on over here. Road trip! This way. So I needed to freeze 2 things really, really quickly for this Facebook Live. So I decided to just put them in here, which is where we store the ice. I've got a frozen banana and a frozen chunk of butter. Well, hello, Fiona, Christian, say hi to Facebook Live. Come on in. We crushed the video. Little behind the scenes there. Rythmia's production area. So these are other 2 ingredients that I like to grate for different things. First thing I'm going to show you is frozen banana. So we use frozen bananas for a million things, right? We use them in our smoothies and whatnot. Ideally, I don't typically freeze my bananas whole. I would break them into pieces, but this isn't frozen solid, so it might not work as well as I would like, but grab a bowl. Plate. Let me grab a plate. This banana melts in my hand, not in my mouth. So bananas, grated bananas. This is, look at that. So it's nice and frozen. Instead of hand mashing it, you can grate your banana, and this is an ideal consistency for using in banana breads, banana pancakes. You know, if you don't want to just deal with mashing your bananas, or you have a whole bunch of frozen ones that you want to utilize from frozen, this is a great trick. So how many of us have frozen bananas in the freezer? And we forget to take them out of the freezer to defrost when we want to make banana bread. So you just grate it, and it softens up right away. Really, really great tip for any of your banana baking needs. You can do that with frozen zucchini as well. My mom, growing up, my mom didn't make banana bread so much. She made zucchini bread, and she did chocolate zucchini bread. And she would just freeze the zucchini, because we had a garden. We had this massive garden, and we would grow these massive zucchinis, and Mom would freeze them. And then you could just grate your whole frozen zucchini, and then you've got the perfect texture. So that's one. Oh, you know what? I'll use this plate. The other thing that I like to use from frozen to grate is butter. And if you are a baker and you like making things like scones and biscuits and things like that, you want to have chunks of butter, because that's what gives your pastries the flakiness. So if you keep your butter in a really cold fridge or a freezer, then you can grate your butter and then incorporate that into your recipe, and that's going to give you your beautiful flakes. And also, frozen butter is really great. Grating your butter is a really great way to use your butter. If you want to spread your butter on toast and it's hard as a rock, who hasn't been there where you get your butter out, vegan butter, regular butter, whatever, you get it out of the refrigerator to put on your toast, and it's hard as a rock, and you end up tearing your bread up. Your butter knife is making a big mess of the bread because the butter's so cold. Just take your butter and grate it, and it will melt on contact with the toast. You know what I'm saying? Picking up what I'm putting down? I think this is just a bunch of brilliant hacks, if I do say so myself.
I feel very
educated.
There
we go.
About the butter cold, because always destroy the bread.
Exactly. There's nothing worse. And then when you both put your peanut butter on it, and then the peanut butter is leaking through all the cracked bits in your bread, it's horrible. Okay. Let's see who is watching here. What did I miss? Christine, we're just doing grating hacks. We're grating all the things. When we're done, you can go back and watch the beginning and see what you missed, because it's been groundbreaking information. Let's see. Dana's watching from DE, Denver. Right? Am I correct? DE? Is that Denver? DE. Dana says, I'm from CO in UT at Bruins at the moment. I don't know all of these American short films because I'm Canadian. Christine is saying, oh my God. So I guess we've shocked you with our amazing feats of scientific culinary wisdom. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this, because I'm enjoying it too. Okay, Dina's saying, okay, in Utah at the moment having brunch, it is the afternoon. Okay, hey from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, MISSISSIPPI. Tiffany says, seriously, you're on fire. I can't stand cold butter messing up my breakfast toast. Yes! Hey there, Mama Bear, says Regis. Delaware! Thank you. Delaware. Like we had the whole conversation about Delaware 10 minutes ago. Okay, I'm losing my mind. Okay, so we've got grated bananas, grated butter, grated carrots, grated potatoes. What else can you grate, you ask? Wow. So many things. Let's say we want to make I like my raw vegan food. I love me a raw tomato sauce over zucchini noodles. Why not grate your tomato? What? Yes. Tomato, whole with the skin on. Just gonna grate it. All the juices. See, and the reason I'm showing you this is because it's pretty neat what happens here. As I grate this tomato, look at all of the beautiful flesh is grating through, and the skin is just hanging out. So we're not going to get all the raw skin in there. Look at that. We have all of the delicious flesh and the juice. So good. And we can make this like as the base of a gazpacho or a raw tomato sauce. We can add in a little bit of onion. And this is just us avoiding having to use our knives for the chopping component, because I mean, don't we all hate having to work on our knife skills? So we just take a little bit of onion, and I'm gonna grate the onion. Not only is that mincing my onion, but I'm also getting the nice flavor of the juice. Look at that. So easy. And then grab a little bit of basil, a little chiffonade, fresh basil, a little rough cut, toss that in there, a bunch of sea salt, a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of olive oil, it's a fresh one. Note, if you're buying olive oil, try to buy glass if you can, but if you have to buy plastic, make sure it's dark, a dark colored bottle, just to keep the quality of the oil. So if it's clear, the sun's gonna fuck it up. Go fuck it up. And we stir that up. And look at that, we have this amazing, could be anything, it could be the base of a gazpacho. You could use this as a bruschetta topping on toast. You could put this over some pasta, zucchini pasta with some grated cheese. And then you have this amazing sauce. So easy, and we didn't even like have to break a sweat with our knives. We just used that bloody grater. And the beauty of these graters is watch. Watch this, guys. Dirty grater, run it under hot water, and you're gonna be good to go. And this is the other thing about using the grater. I just gave this lesson to my partner the other night because I used my microplane grater. And I just said, you know, when you use these, you gotta wash them right away. Give it a rinse so that you don't get food bits stuck in there. So it's pretty important to do it pretty quick, soon after using. And then you can just rinse it. And the beauty of most of them are all made of stainless steel, and stainless steel doesn't hold on to odors. So you don't really need to get in there with soap and all of that every time you use it. Stainless steel is a pretty strong odor fighter. That's what they say when you're how to get rid of the scent of raw garlic on your hands, is to just run your hands over your stainless steel knife, or if you have a stainless steel sink faucet like this, you just rub your hands on that, and that gets rid of the garlic odor on your hands. Some home supply, kitchen supply stores sell these silly little stainless steel rocks that you're supposed to keep in the kitchen to like pick up and rub your hands on to get rid of the garlic. I'm like, why would you do that when you have all of these stainless steel things that you can do the exact same? Just don't rub your hand on the bladed side, obviously, of a knife. Whew! Johnny Fast is saying happy Mother's Day. Hey, Johnny Fast. Betty Van Hethoff says you look adorable from Ontario, Canada. Thank you. Betty Van Hethoff, you look adorable, Mama. Hello from Ontario. Food looks good. Yeah, that sauce is so good. Like I used to do versions of that in my raw food culinary classes. It's so easy. So what else can we grate? Well, let's talk about this here plate of goodness that I have. I'm gonna do this into a bowl. Eggs. Say what? Hard-boiled eggs. So this is a super hard-boiled egg. And if I wanted to make myself a beautiful egg salad, I could just get my egg over my grater. Instead of chopping it up or mashing it up, just get my egg on my grater. Look at that. This one's gonna have a bit of a harder time because it's broken. This just gives it a really nice light texture to the egg. The parts that you can grate anyway. We're gonna end up with some extra chunky bits. Look at that. Look at that. And then, again, just gonna give my guy a little rinse here. On to the next. So we got our egg. I'm gonna chop up a little bit of, I'm not gonna chop that up. I'm gonna put in some carrot for color into our, this is like an egg salad for an egg salad sandwich, right? Pepper. I didn't bring any salt out here, otherwise I would put in some salt. But I am gonna use a commercial mayonnaise, so that can be our, there's probably some good vinegar, salty tartness in that. And that's gonna be our base. You could use a vegan mayonnaise, you could use a cashew mayonnaise, you could do whatever you want. I'm gonna put in a tiny bit of goat cheese. That'll be a nice salty, because this is goat cheese feta that, look, we've grated along with today's theme. Stir that up. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna grate in a little bit of this onion. Always a good little bit of onion in an egg salad is good, right? Look at that! Beautiful. And the egg salad just is it's such a light texture when you grate your egg, and it's a nice consistency. It's an equal consistency throughout. Look at that. And then I've got a piece of bread here. Put that on a clean plate. A little bit of lettuce on the bottom. Little open-faced egg salad sandwich for Kenneth. I would put pickles in this. I would chop pickles and add a squeeze of pickle juice right into the egg salad. That was the way I liked it when I was growing up. Easy peasy. A little bit of lettuce in there. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, you know what would be good? A little bit of tomato on top. What do you think?
Delicious.
Delicious. All of the grated things in that there sandwich.
Easy peasy.
And it's so easy peasy, right? So the last thing I'm going to show you how we can do is with the regular grater. I'm going to use the box grater for this. Is to make your own breadcrumbs. So I've got here, I took a piece of bread and I toasted the living daylights out of it. But if you have stale bread, this is a really helpful thing too. You can just take your stale bread. You can make yourself. Probably easier to do this in your food processor using the blade. What I would do is, it's just ours is wet right now. So you want to use a nice clean and dry food processor, and then you could feed these down the tube and that would make some lovely breadcrumbs. But you get the idea. So we're making breadcrumbs out of stale or toasted bread. And then, last but not least, the microplane. I use this all the time, but I wanted to just reiterate it since we are talking about grating things. And you guys see me do this all the time with garlic. I never mince garlic ever, because I always have one of these bad boys around. And look at that. Look at how fine that garlic has been minced. And you can do the same thing with your ginger. You need minced ginger. Look at that. And then the most favorite grated thing, and I'm going to use the top of this grate not to get with the garlic, is chocolate. So look at that. This is just a beautiful way to garnish any dessert. Some beautiful fine flakes. So you could use your microplane for some fine flakes, or you could use your bigger grater to get big old chunks of chocolate coming out. And that, my friends, is all there is to it. Oh, you could use this blade too, which we don't use very often. You can get, look at this. The chocolate's a little bit too warm. But if you use this blade here, it can make nice ribbons of chocolate. But everything is too hot out here. I think that's all she wrote, kids. I hope that was a little bit inspiring, gave you some ideas, and how your food graters can be utilized in more ways than just grating cheese and carrots. Hopefully I've solved the hard butter dilemma for many of you, because Lord knows that's a big stressor. Starts the day off kind of on a wrong note when you're tearing your bread up. Okay, let's see what anyone has to say. What anyone has to say. Betty says, who's catching all the crumbs there and sampling the food? Kenneth?
Me.
He literally was just licking his fingers when I looked up. I was like, whoop, and Kenneth's like licking his fingers. Kenneth is my cleanup committee. Sarah Williams says, happy Mother's Day to the mamas. Thanks, Sarah, and happy Mother's Day, everyone. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to come back and consume your culinary deliciousness. I'll be standing right behind Kenneth, waiting to taste test time. And when are you here? 27 days, Tiffany? That's going to be here before we know it. Prudy is watching. She's saying hello to Kim. Holy Toledo, that looks good, says Benny Van Hethoff. A sandwich, I'm assuming. Okay, you guys, so that's all I have for today. We still managed to go a good half hour long. I'm going to be here again live next Sunday, but I'm going to be talking a bit more about my food story and talking about just emotions and emotional eating, and a topic that is near and dear to my heart, very personal to me. And I'm going to just touch on a few things that I discuss with guests on a weekly basis here at Rythmia about eating, food, and our emotions, because it's pretty common for us all to use food as a drug or as a numbing agent or as a reward or as something other than what it should just be, which is a pleasure and a necessity in life. So I'm going to talk about that next week. As always, if you guys have any ideas or suggestions or things you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. And I hope that you guys are able to enjoy your Mother's Day. Send your mother some love wherever she is. Even if she's not here on earth with us on this plane any longer, just appreciate all of the suffering that she went through when she was pregnant with you, because it's hard. I have no idea how difficult and exciting and beautiful and rewarding becoming a mother is. I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm super excited. Can't wait to welcome this little nugget in a few months' time. But have yourselves a beautiful week. Tune in tomorrow night. Dr. Jeff will be doing his Facebook Live, and then John Jacob, JJ, if you've been to Rythmia, you've met him. He is Jerry's #1 guy. He helps run the resort when Jerry's away, and he's amazing and is a spiritual teacher. Worked and studied with Reverend Michael Beckwith, and always has amazing things to share. So he'll be doing a live on Thursday. Then we have Christian live on the breathwork front on Friday. Candice will be live again this Saturday with a miracle story from a guest or two that will be going through our program here this week, and then I'll be back next Sunday. Have yourself a beautiful day. Stay cool, stay warm, enjoy the spring, enjoy the winter if you're in Australia, and we'll continue to enjoy the frickin' heat here in Costa Rica. Mwah.
Bye bye everybody. My lunch.